Hello, beautiful souls. Excuse me for coughing. Welcome to Celebrity Natal Charts. Today we're going to be looking at the natal chart of somebody. I think it's Bella Hadid. I scrolled away from the chart, but we're going to be looking at the chart of Bella Hadid. This is the last video of the Libra series. So thank you guys for sticking in there from these hour-long videos from Pisces to Libra. Um, and I have her chart somewhere, and I'm going to look at it and start reading it. And I was looking before the video, just to seem intelligent. I was looking at her Chinese zodiac sign just to like know what it was and not have you guys do the research with me. But it's kind of like redundant now because I still need to scroll a little bit. But so she is born in the year of the rat, 1996. Which I don't know. Like I was just kind of like I don't have any like math on this, but I was like looking at just like thinking about all the other videos that I've done, and I haven't really seen anybody. There's like a lot of rats. Um, a lot of like oxes, rat. Everyone seems to be like ox or rat. I feel like I'm telling the story of the ox and the rat like every other video. Ox, rat, monkey. But I would say the one that is like the least common is probably like pig and rabbit. Like I think the only person who was born in the year of the rabbit was Michael Jordan, and it was like this whole thing about him being from the 90s, and everybody loved to jump in the 90s, jump around. MC Hammer and the Hammer Dance, and Bugs Bunny, like like especially in the 90s, like Space Jam and stuff, but also like Iceberg, like it was like cool to put like Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse like on like adult clothing or whatever it is. Let's see. So how do you guys like natal charts? I had this one woman, Gabriel from Reddit, like be like, I don't like this, and I don't like. It's just so. She's like so annoying, and it was like like it's like a homemade feel to the videos. I'm like, yes, because I'm making them at home. And she's like, it's hard to look at a static image. I'm like, well, most people like to multitask, or that's like my idea is that I like to multitask. So if I'm listening to an hour long interpretation of someone's natal chart, I probably don't want to look at that person's face. I could be all like Chris Brennan looking like Casper with my old aging face in the camera. But that's been a big part of my journey with like Walter Mercado and everything. It's like I don't want to age in front of a camera. So if you don't like, if you want to look at my face and you're mad that I'm not showing your face, screw you, Gabriel. And then what else did they say? They were like, it was like, yeah, like I don't know, pull up a something to like multitask. I don't know what to tell you. It's just I get so much. Try to put out love and do stuff for free for people, and disseminate knowledge, and no good deed goes unpunished. No good Bella Hadid goes unpunished. I'm so sorry. Like I cannot find her natal chart. So maybe I'm not doing Bella Hadid's. Maybe I'm just supposed to gripe about this one. And then she sent me like this really long message, like really long psychotic message on Reddit, and I was just like, why are you sending this to me? Why do you feel like you have the right to critique me? And then everybody says that they work. Everybody that's ever had an Instagram account says they worked in social media, and I'm like, I don't care. Like, I like my videos. Not a lot of other people do, but that's fine because I'm like, uh, it's like for me these videos, it's like cooking a turkey dinner. Like, it's good, it's delicious. I like eating it. If you don't like eating it, then more for me. I literally like watch my videos back all the time. Like one of my favorite ones is the Dakota Fanning one. Not for any, but like one of my favorite ones is Dakota Fanning, LeBron James, and I think there's like somewhat like Frasier. Like what's his name? The guy who plays Frasier, whoever that is. I think I might have done. No. Okay, here we go. Here's the charts. So sorry, guys. This has been like 20 minutes, 4 minutes, not bad. Grab a beverage. Um, Energetically send hate to Gabriel, who wanted to be mean to me. Uh, don't send any hate to this person. Send all the hate to that person. Oh no, here we go. This is like, what is this? Whoopi Goldberg and Meg Ryan and Tracy Ellis Ross. So that's Scorpio. That is from the last series. And here we go. Doja Cat. Bella Hadid. All right. Thank you guys for joining me. Um, yes, so thank you for joining me. Thank you for beverages. We're doing Bella Hadid. She was born in Washington, D.C., United States, October 9th, 1996 at 4:19 a.m. I think Miley Cyrus was born at 4:19 p.m. or something like that, so they have the same similar birth time. She is the rising Virgo, which is kind of just off the bat, like off jump, like rising Virgo, Washington D.C., very close to Virginia. I'm always saying like Virgo's Virginia, conservatism, being persistent, that type of stuff. Isabel Caher Bella Hadid, born October 9th, 1996, is an American fashion model and equestrian. Oh, just like Christopher Reeves, like the video I just did right before this. Um, Also real close by to Virginia. Hopefully she doesn't fall off a horse. Born in California in 1996 to Yolanda Foster and Mohammed Hadid. She signed with IMG Models in 2014. Cool for her. So hopefully she doesn't go to Culpeper, Virginia. Hopefully she stays away from horses. She has the rising Virgo. So rising Libra. I'm always like, rising Libra. I'm always like, their life is going to be marked by weight. So whether if it's like a lack of weight, being really heavy, like Anna Nicole Smith essentially. Rising Virgo, I would say their life is marked by like their education and honestly just like how reserved they are. Like Virgos think that being young, being a virgin, being like 12 years old, like if you're not behaving like a 12-year-old, then you've lost the plot and you're going to hell. But also Virgo, so I guess like the Virgo life, I keep saying Virgo's like I was saying like Capricorn is the booty sign and Virgo is like the duty sign because they're always having stomach issues. So their lives are actually, not always marked by how much weight they have lost or gained, but by like, their stomach issues. Like Virgos, Capricorns, and Tauruses, Earth signs, have really always have like issues using the bathroom. Um, for Taurus, I believe it's because they're so far away from Scorpio, so they don't have like control over their genitals, and it's like weird and gross. But that's Virgo. She also, I think she has her Mercury in Virgo too, which is pretty powerful. Moon and Mercury. So she's a model. The way that she looks and her self-esteem affects her emotions. If she's not looking good, she's probably like silent. And if you're in a room full of models, like Naomi Campbell or something. Oh, actually, yeah, Naomi Campbell. And you want to be like, oh, look at her dress, it's ugly, and you have like purple lipstick on, or your face is all deformed, or something happened, you fell off a horse. It's like she doesn't really have room to talk. But she does like to talk about herself. She likes to talk about her emotions, her mother. Her second house is in Libra, which says that her finances will probably come from her partner. Where she also has Chiron in her sun too, so she might be able to coach people into like getting sugar daddies or finding a wealthy partner. We'll see, how her life goes, but that might be difficult for her or not as easy as for other people. Like, if Bella Hadid has a friend named like, Fella Hadid, and he's like, oh, how do I meet someone like wealthy that'll like take care of me? She's like, oh, just do this X, Y, and Z. And you're like, why don't you have somebody? And she's like, I'm lazy, Libra. Um, so her third house is in Scorpio. She probably talks about revenge a lot. I don't know the culture that she's from. I'm assuming it's something related to the Middle East. So maybe she talks about like issues over there. Maybe she talks about getting revenge against her exes or people that she's had sex with or people who say that they've had sex with her because it's the third house in Scorpio. Um, and then in her third house of Scorpio, I think with also Pluto and Scorpio as well, right? No, I'm lying. Completely lying. Sagittarius. Okay, so fourth house in Scorpio or third house in Scorpio, sounds like a Scorpio, talks like a Scorpio, manifests like a Scorpio. Revenge, sex. Like maybe she's like, I don't want to have sex with that guy. I want to have sex with that guy or that girl or whatever. Um, and then her fourth house is in Sagittarius. So the third and the fourth house both talk about like environment or like your childhood environment, what it's like growing up. Maybe she has a bunch of Scorpion cousins. Um, so as I'm saying, like I said before, like, if you have Aries in the third house, it's very much like growing up in New York City where you're like, hey, I'm walking here, like, get out of my way, right? Um, Third house in Scorpio, her being, well, I think she's born in California, but it says Washington, D.C. Born in California in 1996, and then it says she's from Washington, D.C. So I don't know where she's from, but wherever she's from, being born having a third house in Scorpio and being born from Washington D.C. makes sense. Washington D.C. is a Scorpion city. It's all about power, espionage, and spies. So that would make sense that she'd be from like D.C., Virginia, rising Virgo, third house in Scorpio. But wherever she's potentially from in California, I mean, she could have been like born in California and flew on a plane back to D.C. But I think it's like weird to say she's from D.C. and then born in California. But wherever she's from, California might be like the capital or a political something. Who knows? I'm gonna maybe not. And then also the fourth house in Sagittarius says like her home life is very competitive. I think she might have like a sister who's also a model. There might be a lot of competitions between her and her mother, especially the fourth house rules the mother. But I guess like maybe competition makes her sad, or comparison, makes her like sort of sad. Maybe the comparison between her mother, and her sister, if she has a sister. And then her fifth house is in Capricorn, so the fifth house is like sexy distractions. I always say, she's attracted to dudes in suits, people who own corporations. She has Jupiter, Neptune, and Uranus in Capricorn as well. Let's double check Jupiter, Neptune, Jupiter. Okay, so it's just Jupiter and Neptune. But she has Jupiter and Neptune and Capricorn, meaning that Capricorns bring a lot of good luck to her when the sun is inside of an earth sign, brings her a lot of good luck and fortune. Um, Whoever, opened the door for her or got her on television or made her name very well known was probably a Capricorn. Um, and so the whole thing about like, what does it mean to be like a sexy distraction? It's like, if she's scrolling on Facebook and she has a bunch of reports to do or, a plane ride to catch, and then there's like some sexy guy in his underwear, who looks like a Capricorn, whatever looking like a Capricorn means to you, that might cause her distraction for like 5 minutes to 5 hours. And then how she's supposed to get over that or not allow these lucky, fortunate looking Capricorns that can get her on TV, to disrupt her or thirst trap her, is with the powers of her sixth house, which is like being closer to your friends, maybe having queer friends that are sexy and attractive that look like, Atlas or Ganymede, like a sexy bartender, having friends that are sexy bartenders. She also has Uranus in Aquarius, so she probably gets a lot of help and healing from her friends. Uranus is Aquarius's ruling planet, so whomever caused a lot of boundlessness, in her life or knocked down borders or boundaries, probably a Virgo or an Aquarius. So what does that mean? Like, if she were like a pop star diva, that might be like Beyonce. If I don't know if I think Naomi Campbell's a Taurus, but like, if there's some other model, who knocked down boundaries for her, there might have been an Aquarius. Her seventh house is in Pisces, so she should get married to Adam Levine or Justin Bieber or Rihanna, or a Pisces, a Pisces sun. If she wants to have a happy, snappy, David Bowie-esque love affair, like David Bowie and Iman, because he married, dated, whatever, a person from his seventh house. She has an eighth house in Aries, so she might want to join some type of government or military effort. That might be like her want, wish, and desire, is to be part of the military, maybe USO, entertaining the troops. Maybe she wants a big, sexy military man as her partner, or big, sexy military woman. Um, and her ninth house is in Taurus. So this says that her education, it's like just some education about farm life. I don't think of Bella Hadid being out on the farm, but maybe wherever she went to college, if she went to college, or wherever she went to school, might have been somewhat like rural or farm like. Or she might have a talent one day to study culinary. What is it? Jessica Seinfeld is a Sun Virgo, and she stole a cookbook, so maybe she'll steal a cookbook or something. And then, or maybe she'll read Jessica Seinfeld. Maybe Jessica Seinfeld stole her cookbook from her. Who knows? I think they know who it was, but whatever. And her 10th house is in Gemini, so she's actually like more poised to be maybe like a Ralph Lauren model, or Lululemon, or Nike, like something that is like athletic wear. She could be a singer, talker, or I mean, she's a model now. She's born 1996. Who's to say the next 20 years she doesn't become a politician? As many Geminis are politicians because they just say whatever they need to say and they don't really care about what they're saying or doing. And in her 11th house, she has Cancer. So this actually says she might be in a competition with her mother. Her and her mother might be best friends, but it might be both. Her grandmother might have been her best friend. And when it comes to humanitarian efforts, so like she's maybe not about saving the whales, she might be more about like saving the mamas, or helping out mothers and children and things like that. She has a 12th house in Leo and also the planet of Mars. I don't know if I mentioned her Saturn, but her Saturn, I believe, was in her 8th house of Aries, which says she might get electrocuted. Yeah, so her Saturn was in Aries, so maybe a big limitation about her is her political beliefs, and maybe that pertains to stuff going on in the Middle East. Her 12th house in Leo, where she has Mars in Leo, so she acts like so. Leos make her miserable, and acting like a Leo makes her miserable, but she acts like a Leo. So I think she's like afraid of people who are more famous than her, which I would be too. Because if you walk in a room full of like Bella Hadid super fans, who worship you, versus going into a room of models who are like your last week's flavor of the month, that might be a little bit soul crushing, might make you a little bit miserable. And I guess like this whole thing, it's like I don't know, never met her, but from her chart, it's like there's this whole energy of like being allowed to talk. And I guess like there are certain things about her where she feels like she's not allowed to talk. Like she can't really talk about other people. Like maybe she wants to go on like fashion police and like crush people's souls about their outfits or their plastic surgeries, and she has like no room to talk. Maybe she's a little bit botched or something. I don't know. She's not as famous. So that's Bella Hadid and Michael Jordan and Rihanna. I mean, like, also, I guess, like, maybe if she dates somebody who's born in the year of the rabbit, as the rabbit is comparable to Pisces, maybe that's a good match for her as well. But thank you so much for liking, sharing, subscribing, finding your best friend with a Libra sun and a rising Virgo to share this video with them, to tell them how beautiful they are and that they're a supermodel, like Bella Hadid, and that they're gonna fall off of a horse like Christopher Reeves. So I don't know. I don't know who we're gonna do. What's next? Virgo, right? Virgo comes before Libra. We do astrology here, yeah. We do Virgo. So we did Gwyneth Paltrow, Christopher Reeves, Jeff Goldblum, Gwen Stefani, Will Carroll Jr., Will Carroll Smith Jr., Will Smith, John Lennon, as I'm always like, it's almost ridiculous that I didn't do RuPaul, because I'm like always talking about RuPaul or Ryan Gosling or something when it comes to referring to Scorpio. Like the only Libra I know is John Lennon, so I'm always like, oh, you know, Libra, you're like John Lennon. You know, probably get drunk and beat your wife and preach peace on the streets. Doja Cat, she got real thick Libra legs. Vladimir Putin, we're never saying anything bad about him. We love Vladimir Putin. He controls the pigeons, and Kimberly Noel Kim Kardashian, which I think I'd be very remiss to not include her in this series, as she's like politically, socially, like her and Kanye West are basically president. So yes. Anyway, so thank you. I will see you in my next series of Virgo, which might come out like 8 years from now. You never know. Especially when there's like people like I'm like, that's the thing about why there's a specific reason why these videos look the way that they do. It's shamanic. You know, like I said, I don't want to age in front of the camera. It's easy for me. Like I was actually including like the names popping up on the screen, and I was like, too much, too much. You know, like just sit back, relax. You know, play something else in the background. It's the internet. It's the future. You know, I don't want you to sit here and stare at my face for an hour. I don't want you to sit here and stare at anything for an hour. Like, go look at something else. Go clean, like, put this on. Go clean up your room. Go take a shower. Like, put it on blast. Like, get out of my face, Gabriel. All right. Okay, so I'll see you in my next video. Bye.